Okay, so today we'll try to see the part 2. Okay, so we'll try to take things ahead of the scenario which we left yesterday. We have completed this manually, okay, and we have just started writing a small script, okay, and that's where we need to complete this for today. So I've just logged into my VM, okay, so I kept in the same state and I closed the VM, so we are at the same place only, so no data is lost, everything is there, and here also is there. Okay, so let me get started. So what I'll do is I'll just increase the font so that I think this was the step 1 which we started with yesterday. Okay, so let's complete the step 2. So I'll just remove this and let's say it's step 2. So if you remember yesterday, okay, so we made use of CLA, that is command line arguments. Okay, so in that what we did is, okay, we the config file, okay, so we were passing through parameters, okay, so that was the thing. Then hdfs directory, so if we are trying to execute that hdfs -rm-r command, okay, so what I'll do is I'll not execute, I'll try to handle that. Okay, so config file I think we have handled yesterday, but we did not handle this, and table name also we have handled yesterday. Okay, so if you remember, now if I want to run my shell script again, okay, what I used to do is I used to execute this command. Okay, I used to execute this command, then I used to run the shell script. Okay, so which was like a manual process. So now what I'll try to do is I'll try to add these validations in my script only. Okay, so let me go over here. So this is the script which we started yesterday. Okay, and let me go to the insert mode. Okay, so first, second, and so table 2, and if you see, even like query file also I can pass in place of keeping into, like if there are like multiple SQLs are required, so I can pass that through a command line argument also, but it's okay as of now. I have already shown you. So now what we will do is, okay, we will try to handle, okay, so if the directory is existing, okay, so we'll try to remove it. Okay, so I just missed this to admit, sorry, let's not admit now more. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so the command is pretty simple. Okay, so hdfs dfs, there is a command called -test. Okay, what this command does is, okay, it gives us whether, so let me paste this. Okay, so it is testing, what it is testing, this is testing whether this is a directory or not. Okay, so with test there are lots of arguments which comes into picture. So if it's a file, we write file. If it's a directory, so we write directory. So I'm writing a directory over here. If I enter over here, okay, so I'm getting nothing. Okay, so what this test command does, okay, it checks the directory, but if you want to see the output, okay, we need to execute the $, whether my previous command was successful or unsuccessful. With that way we need to handle the validation. So now if you see, it is giving me 0, it means my directory is available. Okay, if I just want to test, let's say NFL1, which is not available, so now it will give me other than 0. So that's like, it's not available. That's how like we do validations. Okay, so that's the same thing. Now I'll try to add in the script. Okay, so let me go over here, and here what I'll do is, let's say let's say hdfs, okay, so directory validation. Okay, so now I will be using some commands. Just now I have used what I have used. I have used this. Let me quickly copy this. Okay, let me come to the script and let me paste this. I am testing this. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to test this. Okay, so I'm trying to test this. Now again, I don't want these hard coded, so we have already done this, if you remember this. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly copy this. Okay, and I just remove this and I'll place this. So this is the command which we are testing, but as I just showed you a little while earlier, we need to capture this 0 or 1, and for that what we will do is, okay, I will try to write a if condition. Okay, so what I will try to write, if my dollar question mark, okay, if that is equal to 0, okay, if that is equals to 0, so then what I will try to do is I will execute my removal command which I was trying to command. Okay, so let me just pull back and let me just write then. Okay, if this is what I need to do, so I just need to remove my hdfs dfs -rm -r, and I'll just paste this. Okay, and when it comes to shell scripting, so it just like we can write else clause also, but as of now I don't need, but here we need to close the if clauses. Okay, so that's like what the additional steps are there. So I've just added like my data, if the directory is existing, so I'm removing it, then processing it. Okay, so that is removed. So that is what the SDFC directory removal. Okay, so that is what I've captured. Table name, we will be again like we have captured this yesterday. After that, so after table name, what we were config file. Okay, so config file, anyhow, like if you see, we are passing this again. What I have done is we have commented this and we have taken through command line argument. Okay, so these 3 steps are completed. So let me save this and quit, and let me come back over here and let me execute. So for execution, what I will have to do is, okay, so I will have to pass few things. Okay, so yeah, let's write this. So sh, I want to execute this. Okay, so what is the script name? So if you remember, we executed, yeah, this is the thing. Let me copy this so that it will save a little time, and I'll just say Control C to cut my execution and paste this. Just give me a minute, huh? My mom is coming. Just give me a minute. Sorry. Okay, so let me pull back. So we are trying to pass. Okay, so if you see, so this is like the script name. Okay, that is the first thing. Then the first argument is the configuration file, right? The second is, okay, so that the second argument is your table name, and HDFC directory removal we have handled in the command execution. So that is data validation. So we have handled all the things. So I'm under my scoop part. Let me execute this. Okay. So what this will do is, first it will try to see, okay, whether that directory is available. If that directory is available, it will remove it. Okay, then it will try to execute all the things one by one. Okay, so things are working good. Again, like we will what if, like, so now till the time it is running, so what if like a user does not enter this command line arguments? Okay, it can happen also, because sometimes when I'm trying to execute this, I may miss this. Okay, so we need to validate the command line arguments which are passed during the execution also. So we need to validate that also. So I will validate after this. Okay, can you see 2 records are being retrieved? Quickly, let me do a cat. Let me do the cat. So we should have the data. All looks good. Okay, so this is looking good so far. Okay, so let me clear up the screen. So even like this is good. Now what I'll do is I'll go one step ahead. Okay, and here I will try to do a little more extra thing. So what I'll do, I'll just try to add log file. Okay, and the little while I was trying to say, that is CLA validation. That is, what if the user is not entering these two command line arguments when he or she is trying to execute the script? Okay, at that moment of time, it should also give us the execution error or some message that we are missing something. Okay, so these are the two things which we will try to do. Okay, cool. So let me go to the script again, and let's go inside the script. Let me go to the insert mode. Okay, so now let's do the data validation. The command line execution validation. Okay, so what we will do is, so let me go over here and let me add CLA validation. Okay, so this is what I am trying to do over here. Now if you see, when we are trying to execute, how many number of arguments are needed? 2, right? Okay, so just before that, I'll show you what exactly this will do. Okay, so if I go over here into my execution of script, okay, and if I remove this and if I run this, okay, so if you see, it is running, and at moving ahead it will give me an error because some options are not available. Also, when it was executing the script, okay, let me just scroll a little up. Okay, I did not pass the 2 arguments. If you see, the parameter file is getting null, the table name is getting null. Okay, so here also it is not able to capture the reference variables. Okay, this is how we debug things, and we try to clean the issues or the bugs or whatever the issues are coming. That's how we play with it. Okay, now what I'll try to do is, I'll try to add that validation in my script. Let me go over here. That's what I showed you. Let me go to the insert mode. Okay, now again I'll try to hand a validation. So here what I'll try to do is, I'll try to add dollar. Okay, and here I will try to add hash. So this will give me the number of arguments. Okay, if the number of argument is not equal to 2, okay, because we are passing the config file and the table name, right? So if that is not equal to 2, then what I need to do? So let me say then clause. Okay, so I'll just, what I'll do is, I'll just instruct the end user. Okay, so with a very, like in Python how we have print statement, so in shell script we have echo statements. Okay, so I'll ask instruct him, okay, please enter param file with path, okay, absolute path to be precise, table name and table name. As of now I'm passing only 2 arguments. This is how we instruct. Okay, and if you remember, when I was trying to execute this, even after that the script was running. Okay, so my script should come out of this place only, it should not go ahead. So there we add the exit statement, that is called exit 1. Okay, and here if it's okay, so I'll just try to write else statement. Okay, so yeah, just write else statement, and let's take this back. And what I'll do is, okay, if you want to see what are the parameters passed, I can pass these parameters and write to a log file also. So parameters passed are $1, okay, $2. As of now only 2 arguments I'm passing, so $1, $2, and then this would be returned to a log file. Okay, as of now I have not constructed the log file, so what I'll do is, just for the temporary purpose, okay, I will try to write this file over here just to show, then we will parameterize it. So I think we have the log. Let me go to and see, do we have logs? log, yeah, we have the log directory, so there's nothing over here. So what I'll do is, just for the temporary purpose, I'll write this into log. So let's say test.txt. later on we will just eradicate this. Okay, escape, save and quit. Now let me run this script without the command argument. Okay, can you see now it is giving me an error? So it is telling me something is okay, so I missed. If you see, it is selling unexpected fi, so I made a little mistake. Let me go inside the script. Okay, and I need to close this if statement. That's what I miss. So that's how, like, you need to understand your errors, you need to debug and execute. This is how the development goes. Okay, now can you see this number of argument is not equal to 2, and the instructions which I passed, it is telling me. By reading these instructions I can understand, oh, I need to pass this and that also. So here it was telling me it was expecting fi. So this is how you will understand your errors and you'll try to fix. Okay, So let me do that. So again, like this is already ready for us. So let's quickly copy this. Okay. And as of now, I'm just working on this. Once this is done, I'll start working on this. Okay. So let me execute the script now. Now it should work smoothly. So what it will do, the number of arguments will be tested because I have passed 2 arguments. Then it will go to your sourcing of your config file. Then what it will do is it will go to check the existence of your Hadoop file directory. Okay, if it's existing, it will remove, and then your data ingestion will start by executing the query. The query would be referenced from some file. Okay, parameters would be referenced from other file, and that's how like it goes. Okay, so if you see, it is moving ahead. So far, so good. Everything is working fine. So MapReduce job has just started, and it's going good. Let it get executed. Beautiful. So if you see, we are still getting the output. Again, we'll quickly validate. Let's not be, so always validate the data because it's all about data as a data engineering. Okay, we are able to see those 2 records. Now I want to add a log file. Okay, and one more thing, what we did is, I think logs file. Yeah, so here we should get one file that we just, again, we will do the, so if you see parameters passed, if you see, the first parameter is your config file name. Okay, and the second parameter is your table name. Okay, that's how like we write into logs file. So just for testing purpose, but actual I didn't had any log file, so I have just written in a dummy file. Now what I'll do is I'll start adding some logs, means like I'll just try to add some file. Okay, and then we will write everything into that. Let me go to the insert mode and let me go up. Okay, so let me document this and let's say log file. Okay, now here I know my current directory is this. Okay, so let me quickly do copy this. So what I'll do is, okay, so let's say log underscore directory. I'll paste this path because over here I need to write, or I need to create my log directory. That is the first thing. Okay, now base file, okay, equals to, and I'm using backticks. Okay, so now what is backticks? Okay, so again, like I'll tell you. So I'm just writing, okay, one command that is called base name. Okay, and here I'm trying to take $0. Now what does this means is, okay, from this, okay, where it is, okay, from this entire path, okay, it will, this is like $0, this is like $1, and this is like $2. So from this $0, okay, control C, let me go back over here. Okay, so if I write like echo and let's say backtick, and let me paste this. So if you see this, when I'm trying to execute this command, I am getting only my file name. So again, like base name, it gives you the last file name. Okay, similarly we have other commands also. So that's how, like, once you go into scripting, Unix should be good, so you get a lot of things to know. So that's what I have written over here. So always we test things and we add those things in the scripting, because that's how we automate piece by piece. Okay, so that's done. Then I want to get today's date to my log file. Okay, simply we have a date command. Okay, and from this date command I need a particular things inside this. Okay, so what I will do is, maybe like I just need to have my year. Sorry, why is not okay? So after my year, maybe like I want to take my percent of M. Okay, that's how, like, and like again finally I just need to take my date. So again, like these are the things which you should know. Again, like it's a very basic of Unix. So this is what I will do over here. So let me add, let's say cur of date equals to, and in the backticks I need to execute my date command. Okay, and I need to have that, so that is %y. Then I need, so I'll give let's say, because in projects we get the file names like this. Okay, so %m, it should be %d. Okay, it should be small d, not y, and even this should be small m. Okay, and again, like once we see the output, we will get to know how my things are working. If you want to generate with like some timestamps through seconds, milliseconds, you can add your hours. Okay, You can add your minute. I think it should go M or capital M. Let's see how it goes. Okay, and let's say capital S. So these are the three variables which I have created. Finally, I will try to create my log file by referencing these variables. Okay, so the first thing is I will try to call my log directory. So that will be that. So slash home saif lfs. Okay, that will be my log directory. Then what I will be calling is base file. So I will be getting my file name. Okay, and finally what I'll do is I'll add my date, that is cur underscore date, and finally here I'll say this is my .log. So the file should get generated. Okay, so that is home safe lfs. Okay, $0 is nothing but this entire thing. From that, this value will come. Okay, so that value will get replaced over here. Current date, I will get my date entire, like year, month, date, and hours, minutes, and second, and finally it will be a .log file. That's how it would be. So what I'll do is I'll come back over here. Okay, so this is what I have used, like a hard-coded, a dummy file. Now I will try to write that into a log file which we just created. So log underscore file. Okay, so that's the first thing changed. What else I can do in this file is, so this is good, this is good. Okay, if you want to document something, okay, so it means like if you want to write something, yeah, you can do that. I think that looks good for now. Let me write one final echo statement. Okay, so echo, and let's say successfully, okay, completed scoop load. Okay, and I can for if you want to capture your table name, you can just copy this, or else like let it be as of now. Let's go with like, and finally what I'll do, even I'll just try to document this into. Now if you see here, I'm trying to add an append statement because at the top I created that file, so the file would be created, so I just need to append to that file. So let me just say it's a log file. Okay, so this is double arrow and this is a single arrow. Okay, so what I have done is I've added the log file. This we have already tested, so now we are validating this. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so let me save and quit. I need to come over here. I don't need to remove any file, nothing over here now. I just need to execute my script. That's it. So we are trying to remove as much as manual intervention, okay, so that the script should be generic, okay, and when it is deployed to your production, so it should work in any scenario. Okay, that's like what I'm aiming at. Okay, so once the log file is generated, then finally we will go to your Hive load. I think like that should be pretty sufficient just for demo purpose. So your map reduce job is running. It started. That's beautiful. And that's completed. Let's validate the data with a cat command. Yeah. Okay, data is looking good, all good. So, and let's go to the logs file. Where is the logs file? Yeah, so let's do long listing. And can you see here we are getting this script name. Okay, so this script again I can do as per the requirement of that. And can you see today's 27th of June. Okay, and this is the time 7 of 27. So again, like you can play with it however you want to play. Again, this is just to show. And if you see earlier, the parameters are passed. Okay, and again, like I have made some typo, that's okay. So my scoop load is completed. Okay, so again that looks good. So that I think that is sufficient. And let's go for the final stuff, that is your Hive load. Okay, because till now we have not done anything, and it's like a very easy stuff. Okay, so let's Hive load. Okay, so again we have table creation, so I just need to automate that. That's what I need to do. Okay, cool. Let's go to the script. Okay, so let's go into the script again. and let's go to the insert mode. Okay, so data ingestion is getting successfully completed. Here also I can handle some validation, like how I have handled the validation above. Okay, so if my scoop command is unsuccessful, okay, I can exit it from there. Okay, or I can do something, I can do that also. Okay, so again, like how you write the code, it's all on you. So again, like due to the time constraint, I'm just trying to restrict things and show you the things whatever it's important. Rest all validations scenarios we can add as per the requirement and test it to the fruitful deployment like prod. Okay, cool. So now if you go to the Hive table, okay, so let me just say show tables. Okay, so and let's say show databases. Okay, so now if you see, this is the database which we will be in, and again, like I delete this table because again that table should get created freshly. Okay, so this database name, okay, so we can add into the config file. So let me come one step back and go to the config directory. Okay, and let me go to the param.config file. Let's go to the insert mode. Okay, and let's add like parameter, that is Hive database, and the database name is retail underscore db. Okay, so like how we have like dev database, prod database, so you just need to change the files and your code works in your dev environment, UAT environment, or your prod also. It just like few changes in files and everything works seamlessly. Okay, so this is the first change what I'm trying to do over here. So now let's start working on the script and whatever things I need. Okay, so let me keep adding them. Okay, so let's go to the top. I think like from the top I'll just, so this is the log file creation, command line validation, files are getting parameters file is getting source. If the directory is available, we are trying to remove it. Okay, so again, like this is the data ingestion command. Okay, so again, like if you want to add your thing, like that's what I told, so we can do that also. Let's say I can write my if command over here. If my dollar question mark, okay, is not equals to 0, which means the above scoop command has failed due to some error, so whatever it could be. Okay, so what I need to do, okay, so you can just write some echo statement mentioning like, okay, it has failed. So let's do that. So let's say echo, oh, I'm making a lot of mistakes. Okay, echo, and let's say scoop command, okay, failed. Okay, let's keep this. Okay, and then what we can do is we can just write a else clause, and here we do not have any indentation like how your Python has, but it's like a good idea to keep things like looking clean. That's how like we do. And at the same time, I missed one thing. So if it is failing, I just need to exit my script from there. I don't want to move ahead. Okay, or else like we can say echo, and here I can say is, let's say data ingestion. Okay, so successfully, so let's say here I made a typo. Let's say successfully completed. Okay, and let's remove this. That's not, again, how you document, how you write, it's your call. So earlier, and let's use for which table. So let me copy this. Okay, and let me paste this. Okay, for this table it has completed. If you want to document, okay, you can document your time also. Okay, so whatever like the command which I have written over here, so if you just go over here, so this is like the command. Okay, you can just simply copy this. Okay, and let's come a little down, and you can just simply like paste this over here because it will document, okay, at this time, okay, this got failed. So I'm just document this. Okay, and the entire thing would be written to your file, log file. Okay, so that's thing. So yeah, looks good, and I just need to close my if. So that is the first thing. Okay, so this is like I should have done earlier only, but it's okay. Now we will go ahead with your Hive table creation. Okay, so let me pull this a little up. I already, if you remember yesterday, we were trying to create the table. Let me copy that create table statement where it is. I did not capture it. So this is my solution one. Yeah, this is this thing. Okay, let me quickly copy this. So I'll just try to do something in that only. Okay, now when you want to execute your create table statements, okay, in your shell script, okay, there is like hive -e which says execute this. Okay, and you just need to pass this, okay, everything like into a, let me remove this, you need to pass this into a string. Okay, now let's try to clean this. Okay, so I'm trying to create an external table. Now retail database, if you remember this retail database, we have already like given some, let me do a cat of param. Okay, so we are using this. So okay, so we are using this, so let me quickly copy this, and what I'll do is I'll see this over here. Okay, so just need to change few things here and there. Okay, and that's how like I'll get things. And okay, so I think parameters. Okay, so these are my parameters which I'll require. So let me copy this so that it will become easy for me to paste. Okay, now here I just need my table name. Okay, this is what I need. Okay, so what you need to do is, again, you just need to, so staging, we'll add the staging, because, and here I'll just add the table name. So these are my column names. I'll not touch this, okay, because they will be coming as is. Okay, so again, like row format delimited, fields terminated by, okay, and location. So again, this location we already know, so this is nothing but your output directory, right? So let me come over here. Okay, so this is the output directory. Okay, and finally we need to have your table name. Okay, so let me change that also. So let's this. Okay, so that is done. Okay, so all looks good. So this will create my table. Okay, if some error comes, as I said, we have two things. Either we'll have to debug the code or it will get successfully. Let me paste this quickly. So this is the table creation command. Okay, so once this is completed, if you want to preview the data, you can preview the data from here also, which will show here also. I can do that also. Okay, simply I just need to write -e, and I just need to write select all the records from, okay, I think the database name we have used, right, this, so that is Hive database. Okay, and this table name, so we have used this. I'll just copy this. Again, this is not a good idea. We should go to Hive, but let's do this, play with this also. So this query will execute, okay, and it will show us the data. Okay, and finally I'll just write my final execution, that is echo. So let's say I'll just copy this. This will save my work. Let me copy this and let me paste this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just make few changes. So I'll not say data ingestion completed, so I'll just say Hive load completed. Okay, somehow, okay, Hive load completed for this table. Okay, if you want to mention that, okay, so you can mention this also. Sorry, you can mention this also. Let me quickly copy this. Okay, or else simply let's write this only. I think this should be good because it should give us the table name, right? I am not interested in the database name. So let's remove this and paste this. So it will tell me, okay, at this time the data ingestion happened, and again it will write. And finally, if everything is good, I'll just write exit 0. Again, I can write like if else statement over here, but that looks sufficient to me, hopefully. So what I have done over here is, okay, in this Hive load, okay, so we are trying to create the table, we are trying to preview the data. Okay, these are the two things which we are troubleshooting, which we are trying to do over here. Let's see if all goes well. So save and quit. Let's clean up this and execute the script. So first, all those things will happen, like data, like command line arguments check, the sourcing of parameter file, then the HDFC directory removal if that exists, then the data ingestion. Once the data ingestion is there, okay, what it will do is it will try to load the Hive data. Means like it will do a create table statement on your location, and a final preview will be done. That's how like we are expecting the results. Okay, so if you see now Hive table creation is executing. Okay, so let it get executed. So now this is your Hive execution has started. Can you see your logs are getting initialized? And let's see what it is telling. So going good so far. Hive session, the ID has been assigned to the Hive. Can you see we are able to preview the data also? Okay, let's verify in the Hive also. So we can just do a simple quick. Before that, what I can do is I can execute my cat statement. It should be there. Yeah, we are able to see this cat, and if I go over here, I should be able to see my data also. Okay, so that's how, like, again, like, this is like, again, like, if you just like a small script which I have written, which we started from the scratch, and again, like, it is purely based on the scenarios. And one thing we've missed, so let me go back and go to logs directory. Okay, so I should have my demo log, which is of the latest one, that is 52. So if you see, these are the parameters passed. Okay, so so this is data ingestion successfully completed, and we didn't get the last thing, that was like, okay, so this echo load. Okay, why didn't I get this? The reason is, like, if you see over here, this is a small mistake. Let me go to the insert mode. Let me go back over here. Okay, save and quit. Okay, now we'll try to do a clean implementation. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll drop this table. Let's say stage underscore NFL. Okay, if I do show tables, there should not be anything. That's good. So this is like the query which we have already tested. So script, it's already done. So let's remove everything from here, from your logs. I don't want anything. So again, it's clean, and yeah, that looks good. So everything is clean. So now we are trying to execute this, a fresh execution. So let's do that. Let's enter. So now, moving based on your scenario, again, like, this is the script which I have created for development environment. Okay, even if your script goes to your testing environment or your prod environment, the thing what I need to change only for this scenario is my parameter file, that is the config file. Okay, so it's very easy. So I'll just come back to my config file, and I'll just say cat param. I just need to change this file, and I need to deploy it to a particular location. That's it. So this data ingestion will run even in my dev environment, even in my prod environment. Okay, and again, during testing, if some bugs are encountered, and if they are raising a Jira ticket, so as a developer we need to work on that. Okay, and again, like, after that we need to close that, and that's how your dev flow works. Okay, cool. So if you see now, Hive stuff is working. Okay, so session ID is assigned, and if you see, we are able to see the data. Again, this is not required, but I just showed how things can be written. So we should see the data over here. We should, if I go over here and if I see show tables, we have a table. If I try to query that table, we have the data. I'll just go back to my logs. Okay, and I'll try to show my, oh sorry, let me do a long listing. Even I know, like, it's only one file over there. So now if you see, even my Hive loads is written. So again, like, based on scenarios, okay, your things are written, and that's how, like, I tried my best to automate this. Okay, again, like, based on some requirement. Okay, and the script what we went is all the script. So we started, like, very fresh with a manual execution, and again, like, as scenarios kept coming, I tried to add things here and there. Okay, and that's how your development goes. And you should, and again, like, it's not like in your dev environment, it's not always that you create your scripts like right from the word go. Okay, so most of the time, like, the scripts are ready, but as a developer you should have an understanding, okay, where my scripts, which script is called during this execution. Okay, if it's failing here, where I need to go, where I need to change the value, where I need to call the value, what value is referencing null. Okay, so this is like how you need to identify your issue if you are facing issues in scripts. Okay, When it comes to your challenges regarding like your requirements, again that is like code. Like now in this code, in this requirement, like we have written a SQL query, okay, but if it's like a PySpark, so again like Spark code you need to validate. So there are like phases of development, okay, and you go through these phases, and that's how like things work, okay. So that's it from my side, okay. Hopefully like I tried my best to automate this, and again like if I'll just add this script, okay. So maybe like what I'll do is I'll just come out of this and I'll just try to cat my demo script, okay, and I'll just go a little up. Maybe like I can paste this file. So let's copy this and let's keep coming. Let's copy this and let's go over here, and this is like your complete script, complete shell script which we tried our best. Okay, so that's how it's done. So I'm stopping this, okay, and I'll start taking like your question answers. If you have any questions, then yes.